Hey guys, so here we are for the Shade overview video. I recently finished getting the Shade to level 200, that was the aim. I made the character for the character card instead of the link skill. The link skill is okay, but compared to the other characters, because I've got a full 12 link skill tab open at the moment, it's maxed with 12 and you can't get any more, which is a bit of a shame for Nexon to do that, because it kind of, well, defeats the purpose of making a link skill mule if you really don't need it. So like, rather than just playing and experiencing the class and getting a link skill as the benefit, you look at it and go, well, I don't need the link skill, so I'm not going to play it. Where this class is really fun, but if it didn't have a good character card either, I wouldn't have bothered making it. So yeah, as you can see, I'm stuck on a weapon attack buff at the moment. But yeah, it is a fun class. I was testing out a few of the different skills that are able to do stuff. I didn't use the soul split skill on Zakum or Horntail, because since they're motionless bosses, it's only good for bosses like Vellum that are very difficult to hit, but we will be using it on Chaos Vellum down the track if it hasn't been changed. Yeah, so I figured I'd just do this video to talk about what I thought of the Shade and how I felt training it, because I pretty much, the moment the game went up, I went on it, moved all my gear onto it, moved link skills on it. By the time it was all ready to go and had all the characters going, it was half an hour in, and then I started training, and I didn't stop for 20 hours until I got it to level 200. There were one or two other people who got it to 200 before me. Like, by the time I was level 70, they were like 150, and then they'd gotten 200 within 4 hours of the game going up, which is a bit of a shame, because I feel I did the old-fashioned way where I just grinded from start to finish. I went to Chaos Horntail and Horntail at around 150 to 160, and I managed to kill Chaos Horntail in about 15 minutes, and it gave me about 2.5 levels of EXP, which was good. So I can see how that was beneficial for those people to do it over and over and over again to get up to where they got to, and then go straight to, I'm not sure how long they would have spent at Drill Hall 2 or Armory, wherever they went. But yeah, Armory was, Drill Hall 2 was probably the best training I'd had out of all of it, which was like my main motivator, because I knew that once I got there, it would have been, well, it was pretty much all over in terms of having to move anywhere, and all I had to do was focus on getting levels. So yeah, it was a fun character to train. I managed to get about a level every 20 minutes on a 2x card at Drill Hall, even up to level 200. And yeah, it was interesting that the bossing skill that I'm using right now was also the training skill, and it only hits 3 mobs, so it's good for training, but you really have to one hit to be able to be really good to kill it. So on this character, I had between, like, when I was training and I didn't have all my gear on, between getting AP points and getting up to level 200. At level 200, I had about a 450k range. At level 150, I had a 350k range. So yeah, it was good to move some of my Xenons equipped over. I moved my shoulder, my Tyrants, my RA gear from Blowfat, because it had attack instead of all stat, because Erasers has all stat gear, which wouldn't have been as beneficial for it, because all stat gear is only beneficial once you have a lot of attack. So yeah, we moved that over to this character, as well as I think one of my Golux rings, because it had 12% all stat on it. And yeah, that was really all I moved, and from there on out, I just did the normal training things that we'd worked out after the recent update that changed all the training areas. That was interesting, trying all the new training areas. I'll make a new guide of that, just showing like the way that I did it. I know people were finding alternatives, but I might include those alternatives if I remember what they were. But yeah, some parts in between the 20 hours of training were a bit of a blur, because like from, I think the first 3 hours in, when Steve and I were training together, we looked at the clock and suddenly it was 2:30 in the morning and the game went up at 11:30 at night for us, and we're like, where did that where did that 3 hours just go? So yeah, it was interesting, but I didn't use energy drinks or anything like that. I pretty much had a big bottle of water next to me. I had a few bread rolls and things to eat as I went along, just to stop myself from getting hungry. And then at about 6 in the morning, which is 7 hours in, I heard people in my house getting up, so I got up, made myself a cup of coffee, had some toast, and then kept going, and then had a shower around 9 AM, which was 8 hours in. and yeah, I just that woke me up completely, and then I just kept going. So yeah, it ended up being rank 8 in GMS after rankings updated, well, after the game went down and they did their maintenance for whatever they needed to do that for, and yeah, it was nice. It was the first one in Bello Nova, and I think Steve's going to be the second one, I believe. He's as I'm doing this audio, he's training with erasers at the moment to get to 200. But yeah, it was nice being within the top 10 for GMS, because that's the first time I've ever done a character within 24 hours. I think the last one I did was my AB, and I finished at about, it was either like 30 hours, between 30 hours and 40 hours, and yeah, it was just because I trained a lot slower, and I didn't have all the resources available to me, like, because I had my bishop, I had my Kana, I had an extra computer if I needed another mule just to fill like a PQ place, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, people holding maps for me or anything like that, so I could just go from one spot to the other. So yeah, it was fun. And in terms of bossing, this class is very good. If I didn't like my Xenon so much, I would pick this as the pirate class to go to out of all of them, just because, well, they haven't done anything to it in terms of nerfing for KMS, or not that that's really an indicator to do it or not, but the skills that it has and the way that it moves, it's good. So yeah, and it's interesting how sort of boring it is to train in the beginning, because its second job skill, I think ground pound, is very slow. You time it together with the drag up and drag down skills, and then it becomes easier. But yeah, definitely anyone who's training them now who's not motivated to get it past third job, I'd suggest just holding out until you get to fourth job, because the skill that I'm using right now changes everything for you. And yeah, it really is the thing that changes the character and makes it enjoyable. Yeah, as it is with a lot of characters, because even with Xenons, you know, they don't really do anything good until you get to fourth job, until you get beam dance, until you get snipe. So yeah, it's really worth just holding out and on, you know, really judging the character until you've seen what fourth job is like. I did screw up the ultimate, the hyper skill ultimate at the beginning. I know you probably can't see it because the AS93 logo is blocking it, but it was the first time trying it, and I accidentally let my finger off the button instead of holding it down, because I saw that it had a duration of 8 seconds, but I wasn't thinking, oh, I've got to hold it down for 8 seconds. Speaking of holding down keys, it does have a skill like Stinky Fish, the Beast Tamer skill, I think that's what it's called, where you hold down a key and it starts spinning and it just creates a massive hurricane. That's worth training with as well. I'd suggest getting that, getting points into that, because it has a cooldown of 30 seconds to begin with, but when you max it, it goes up to, I think, a 10-second cooldown. So it's really worth using, especially at places like RNJ where you grind in those areas. So yeah, I just decided to do Chaos Horntail, Chaos Zachem, and the Rude Abyss bosses as the places to go to, just to boss, like, you know, Tristan was saying, oh, you have to go Pink Bean, you have to go Pink Bean, and yeah, I was just like, no, I'm not spending all day doing those 333 monster kill quests, because I just was really edging to get back onto erasers and, you know, be able to do Empress for today and do CRA and just all sorts of things, and also get back to training, because I was really just missing training on my Xenon. So yeah, it's so it's just the character that I like, and, you know, I'll never really move off it. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say about it. I'm sure people will continue to play it past level 200. The only real criticism of it is with Beam Dance, I liked it because you can move. That's a Xenon skill. Move around while you're training. With the Spirit Claw, you have to attack in one place. If you so you just say you're holding it down, if you move anywhere, it'll stop, and it also has an attack limit on it. So yeah, that's probably the only negative thing I'd say about fourth job. But other than that, we're definitely going to use this character. Like, I'm going to get used out of using exercise at the Chaos Rude Abyss bosses, just for the Soul Split skill that splits the monster in half, and then it also allows the damage you output to increase. And yeah, it will be a useful class for us. So there's a number of us getting them to 200 just so we can use them, well, for the character cut as well as being able to use them at bosses. So yeah, as you can see, it's not too bad at doing CRA. Well, these normal CRA bosses aren't that hard to kill anyway. But yeah, it's for people looking for a strong class that doesn't need a lot of gear, I'd say try this one out and then see what you think. And the benefit of it being is that, you know, if you were a strength pirate, you know, if you did play a buck, this is definitely better than a buccaneer, no question. And it uses knuckles as well, so there should be, well, before now that there should have been some cheap knuckles around for anyone quitting buccaneers, but yeah, I'd definitely suggest trying these out, even if you did make it to 120 for the link skill, because, you know, 4th job is level 100, so you'd still be able to experience some of 4th job. And yeah, you don't have to do it as fast as I did. I was just very keen to get back onto my main character, just to continue doing what I normally do. And you've got the major benefit of right now until the 22nd of July to be able to move NX equips over. So I've got my Perma Safety Charm, Perma Hypertele Rock, and I had my Gold Robo on there before, but before the server check we were all a bit superstitious, you know, like in before Nexon takes away the ability to move. Cash Shop equips in their little maintenance they had when just after I got 200, and yeah, so I moved all my NX gear back to erasers, and then I moved a few things back so I could do some bossing videos today. But yeah, so I'll show you what the split skill looks like. That's it. So see how there's a copy of Vellum staying above the ground and then the real Vellum is underneath. The thing I noticed about this is it's very difficult to hit the split. So you can see how I'm trying to attack and it's not hitting the body, whereas if you attack normal Vellum, the hitbox is very big and it stacks up on the head. So yeah, I'm trying to hit it, it's not working, then I jump up and hit the actual head, and I think that's where the hitbox is. So it's something worth noting and looking into, but that was just one of my, well, that's one thing that stuck out when I was doing this. I was very interested to see what it looked like at Vellum, but I'm sure we'll work out what's up with it to see if they changed it from KMS or not. But that was the major indication for all of us to make this character, or at least to have one mule be able to go to the Chaos Root Abyss bosses. But yeah, that's it for this character, guys. Thank you for all the words of congrats and everything for getting within 24 hours. But yeah, and I'll be back with some cubing Miracle Time stuff next time. Alright, see you guys later.